Um,
There we go.
Hey, Michael. It's
Hi,
nice to virtually meet you.
you as well.
Yeah, my name is Stephanie. I'm a certified dog trainer, canine behaviorist, and canine nutritionist over in San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
And it's so nice to meet you because you are the very proud owner of Cap and Lou's, correct?
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, it's named after my dogs actually, Capone and Lulu, and they're actually napping right now. There's a big storm. I don't know if you could see it outside, but I gave them
Oh,
some
no.
CBD earlier. They're not good with storms, but they're happy in their beds right now, just chilling out.
Nice. So the CBD is effective for them then.
It works really well. I wish I'd known
Good.
about it. I've had the store about almost 5 years now, and before that, I didn't have any help. I would get maybe trazodone or
Mm,
Benadryl and just stuff to knock them out. So
yeah.
yeah, so now they're much happier.
That's amazing. And you guys are in Florida, correct?
Right, New Smyrna Beach. So if you know where Daytona Beach is, it's about a half hour south of there.
Okay, okay. So like northwest of Orlando, kind of like.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, about
cool.
45 minutes northwest of there.
Dang. Okay, yeah. Sometimes things look a lot bigger or smaller on a map, and
Yeah,
then you talk to someone who's like, no, that's actually a 45-minute drive. Like,
yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me today and having this conversation because I really want to learn about you and kind of what got you in the pet care industry. So yeah, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got here.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for the invite. It's really nice of you. So I was in finance for quite a while. I did commercial credit. I ended up at a big bank. I don't even want to say their name, but I was just miserable sitting in a cubicle and so I had the chance to move back to Florida. My family is all here. And when I moved back here, the only goal I had was to learn to surf, which I did. And then after that, I like, all right, well, what am I gonna do the rest of my life? And so I did some part-time jobs. I thought about being a teacher until I was a substitute teacher, and then I didn't want to be a teacher anymore.
The real life experience humbled you real quick.
Yes, right. Yeah, I thought it'd be like fun, like be a teacher, and I no, that's not how it is. That's not reality. So, the space I'm in right now, we're on a barrier island, and people that live on the island hate going over the bridge to the mainland.
Mm,
Yeah,
hmm.
there is nothing around here, no decent foods. Here, there's the supermarket, and that's about it.
Okay.
So, when I was buying their food, I would go, over the bridge and I'd look for good stuff, but never really got any help. When I went in, I
Yeah.
remember one place I went into and I was just learning about nutrition. Like when you told me about raw and the lady, I still remember, she's like, well, it's really expensive for bigger dogs. And that was it.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I guess
Yourself.
feeding them raw, that's all you have. That was really odd. Like, okay, I'm trying to do something good for my dogs. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you helping me? And in the past too, like that's never. I had a dog. My last dog had cancer, and I was given two options: anti-inflammatory or chemo. And I went with anti-inflammatory. I didn't want all the side effects, and he lived another year and a half, which was a year longer than they gave me, but
Well,
never talked to me about supplements, never talked to me about like turkey tail mushroom, never talked about food. And now, like my other vets, thinking back, they'll ask what kind of food, and that was it, and they'll write it down. I'm like, "Oh, why are you even asking? You're not even want to
right,
talk about it."
right.
So the store I'm in now, I would walk by there every day and look in with Capone and Lulu, and the name of it when I rescued them, I got them 3 weeks after my last dog passed. And Capone and Lulu, right off the bat, I just said Cap and Lou. This is Cap and Lou. It was just way easier to call them that. And I was dating a woman, and this 10 years ago, I was dating this woman. I told her at that time, I'm gonna have a pet store someday, and I'm gonna call it Cap and Lou's.
It's gorgeous.
Like 5 years later, I did. So That the reason I got into it was my last dog. He,
Hmm.
what I was telling you, I didn't get any support. I didn't know anything about. I didn't know dogs even got cancer. That's how clueless I was. So, when I got these two, I started getting more into nutrition. I started following Dr. Karen Becker and others that are veterinarians and nutritionists, and then learned more about the pet industry. And I wanted to open a business, but I had different ideas of what I was going to do, and never really. It always came back to pets and doing
Hmm.
something good for pets. So the store I have, it's set up where you come in, we'll walk you around, we show you everything. We'll spend as much time as you want that you'll allow us to talk about all this stuff that we've got in the store. Every new customer, we ask, what are you feeding your pet? So a lot of them will come in because of the foods that we have already that they've been buying. I just had a woman in today who was looking around for a brand, and she saw we had it. She came in. She was so happy that she found us. Um, and we have people that come from Orlando, 45 minutes away,
Wow.
because of the foods we have.
Wow.
Actually, one of them is Bones and Co. So there's a guy that comes in for that. Um, but we set ourselves apart with educating people, getting to know them, asking them the questions like, "What's going on with your pet?" We try, however we can, to save them from going to the vet if we're able to. If not, obviously we're going to tell them to go to the vet. But we have stuff that's vet strength for ear infections and other things that we can help them out with to avoid the vet fee.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you said a lot of really great things. I think that like the majority of the reason why we are pet professionals is because we saw a lack of something while we were trying to find things as pet parents, right?
Oh yeah.
And that kind of just like opens up this door, and it's like a huge rabbit hole of like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God, I didn't know that. And you learn more and you learn more and you learn more. And it's just like, oh my gosh, there's the things that we do conventionally as pet parents are kind of like way different once you kind of start to like peel back the layers and look into some other things. But as anyone, it can be a little overwhelming when you step into a pet boutique versus a big box chain store where the stuff is totally different. Like just looking at the differences in like products, you're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like I've never even seen this. So I think it's really awesome that you guys take the time to not only educate, but get to know that pet parent and that pet and kind of, I guess, like soften the amount of like overwhelm that they might be feeling stepping into a new spot like that.
Yeah, it is over. It can be overwhelming for sure, especially you have someone that comes in and they have an issue with their dog, and I'm having my manager put together a list of, okay, you have someone that comes in with cancer. I want to know every single thing in the store that will benefit this dog that has cancer.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say, all right, here's 50 things that you can get. Like that's not helpful, but having that resource of, okay, this is for this type of cancer, or for kidney disease, renal failure, whatever it
Hmm.
is. These are some of this. Let's start here. We usually start with the food. Uh,
Hmm.
that's why we ask people what their dog is eating,
Hmm.
because a lot of the times it's not the most nutritious, and we usually know what's in it as soon as they tell us, and we'll say, all right, let's go take a look at this. Here's what's in this food.
Hmm.
Give you a sample if you want, or take it and see how your dog likes it. But compare the ingredients. Whenever we give out samples, we want them to compare the ingredients to what they're on right now, because that
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. And people don't usually do that. They'll look at the packaging, the marketing is great, and it looks really pretty, and so they'll buy it. And I did that too. I fell victim to that.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it, is really educating them on not just the type of food, but looking to see what's in it,
Hmm.
because it does make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. What is like one of the biggest myths that you hear about raw feeding specifically? So someone comes into your store, maybe they're already looking for raw, or maybe, they're still kind of like on this new journey of healthcare and wellness care for their dog. And, what are some crazy things? Maybe not crazy, maybe I shouldn't say that, but what are some myths that you
Yeah.
kind of hear about feeding raw?
Well, well, first off, they think that we're just going to give them a bunch of organs and, or they're going to have to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Or they have a picture in their head of like I think sometimes just like a bloody animal that we're gonna give them like all right this is so show them. But then too they get scared. They get scared because their veterinarians will scare them.
Oh, for sure.
We have several here that are into nutrition, that are good with raw, but there are a lot of them out there that are saying you're going to kill your dog if you give them raw food. They can't handle that, which is not at all true.
Right.
And I'll tell them, like, I have mine on. If we've added freezers every single year we've been in business because there's such a big demand. We have to keep adding more and more. That's the first thing
Yeah.
we go to. So those are probably the biggest two is that it's gonna hurt the dog, and that there's bacteria in it or salmonella and like well it's just not true.
And also, let's look at the kibble if we're going to be
Yeah,
honest, because
and that I will
they're
tell
not
you
infallible.
the only thing I've ever had to get rid of in the store due to recall has been the kibble. I threw the entire line out and I didn't bring it back. That's the only thing that we've had issues with was a
Yeah,
kibble. And I know there's more kibble versus raw out there,
sure.
but there are more recalls on kibble by far.
Yeah, yeah. What is something that you think the pet food industry gets correct, like gets right? Like, I think that I guess let's talk about from like a traditional, conventional, like pet parent who is just feeding their dog, and the majority might be kibble based, but is there something that you think like I think we're at least all on the same page about this when it comes to pet food?
That's a tough one. There are brands that are even kibble brands that are good.
Yeah, of
That
course.
you don't have to do raw. There are good kibbles out there. Um, and so those, those I think they're doing the right thing. They people want the convenience and they want it to be less expensive. And so yeah, it might not be as good as raw, but hey, I'm not gonna judge someone if they can't afford raw. Like I wasn't able to in
Yeah.
the past, so um, there's nothing wrong with that to feed kibble if you know what's in it, you know what you're giving your dog. I think there are a lot of really good brands out there that are kibble and they are doing the right thing. There's some with no synthetics in it. There's like Nature's Logic. There's Carnivore, which they don't want you to call it a kibble, but that's a great line to
Yeah.
put that line. Super healthy ingredients in it. Um, so yeah, I think there are a lot of really good brands out there, and there's the opposite too with raw. There are some raw out there that I won't carry that
Yeah.
like that have bad reputation, they have a bad history, and I don't want that in my store.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, I think in general it's going in a really good direction. You see these foods that even like Farmer's Dog, which I compete with them, but that's way better than kibble.
Right.
It has the moisture in it. I have better stuff, but we have gently cooked too. We have several lines of that similar to Farmer's Dog. But it's great that they're coming out with these things that are trying to make it better and making the pets healthier.
Yeah, I think you hit right on the head with that. Like, we want to meet pet parents where they are, and as much as we may want to, recommend the moon, if they're only willing or can afford or, whatever the case may be, land somewhere less than that. I mean, these are all the great options that we can still offer for you, whether it's a kibble or a gently cooked or, you do go all the way raw. Having the options, I think, is really important. And then having the education to, even within all of those little lines, to still know these are the better options and the gently cooked options, or this is a better option in the raw category. So kind of having lots of different things there.
True. And then also, if you're going to do, we always tell people to, if you're going to do kibble, great, add some bone broth to it, add a pre
Yeah.
and probiotic to it, make it easier to digest. Don't just dump some dry kibble in the bowl and make them eat it. Because that's not, it's harder on their stomach. You can easily, even if you don't have bone broth, add a little warm water
Yeah.
to make it easier to digest.
I love that. And I guess you kind of segued that kind of nicely into my next question for you, which was, what advice would you give someone who is overwhelmed by all the conflicting information that is out there?
Uh, I would say find a good pet nutritionist and talk to them.
Yeah.
Even when people come into the store, I will talk to them, and I'm not a pet nutritionist, I'm not a veterinarian. I'll
Hmm.
tell them what I know, I'll give them the information I know, and then I'll write a pet nutritionist name down. Like, you do your own research. If you don't want to try this stuff, that's fine. And I don't care
Yeah.
if you buy from me or not. I want you to have healthier food. Go do your research, and then if you want to buy this, then great. At least you know what you're getting and what you're giving your dog.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. A little bit of outsource of that. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Can you share a case or an example of maybe one of your clients or one of your pet customers that came in and like changing what they were eating made a huge difference?
Oh, yeah, and I can tell you personal too. I have one customer. I have this wonderful woman who had Kirby, who passed recently, and he's an older dog, but had a cough for years.
Mm.
We changed to an all raw diet, and it went away. I don't know what the cough was, but this poor thing was suffering, and it was simple as a change of diet. We've had several customers that we were able to change and get them off of. I have one who raises Great Danes, and this poor thing has been on Apoquel for years.
Mm.
And so we
Hmm.
got this dog on a really good diet, got the gut health really, really good. And she was so worried about getting off Apoquel because this dog would just have these awful, awful breakouts. The and she's been coming to us for probably a year now. And about 3 weeks ago, she's was talking to me, and she's like, I think it's time we try to get him off Apoquel. So she was really nervous about it, and she started, like, she weaned him off of it, and it's been
Hmm.
off of Apoquel for 2 weeks now, no issues at all. The dog's gut health is so good that there's no breakouts.
That's
They
awesome.
and same so Capone and Lulu, they used to get hives on their entire back every single January.
Mm.
Their entire back was full of hives, and then they'd start losing hair. They would itch like crazy. After I got them on completely raw, and then they do the pre and probiotics, I do the goat's milk, all that stuff, and they have a little bit of itch because the pollen here in Florida is awful, but
Or
they don't get the breakouts anymore. They don't get the hives. They've got way better coats. They have more energy. So I see it firsthand what a difference it makes.
yeah, absolutely. My entire family has schnauzers. We're schnauzer freaks, and my parents have two, and they were getting chubby, and one of them was on Cytopoint injections every 3 months, and I'm like, "Hey, your daughter is a certified nutritionist. Can I please help you?" And they finally broke down. They're like, "Okay, fine. Like, what do we have to do?" And of course, I got them on raw. No side of point injections. I think there was, when we were still doing the transition, there was one point where they were starting to flare up, and I was like, okay, go get one more, but now we're going to document this, what time of the year it is, and all that kind of fun stuff. But these are other things that we're going to do to like help out as well.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, they've been feeding raw for, I want to say, going on 2 years now, and haven't had another side of point injection in over a year. And I'm just like,
Oh,
that's so amazing. And it's, I mean,
yeah.
it can be daunting and scary, right? But I mean, it's better than going to the vet every month, every 3 months, or have given this chewable that cost, who knows what every month or whatever. So it all kind of rounds itself out and balances
Right.
it, just a bit in a bunch of different ways.
That's what I tell people. You can pay for vet bills, or you can pay for a better food, and
Yeah.
it might cost you more, like up front. It's going to probably cost you more if you're going to go on raw, but you're not going to be going to the vet like you were. Um, there are other benefits too. Like they're gonna live a healthier life. They're gonna have more energy. They're gonna look and feel better. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to try that?
Absolutely. Yeah, as a behaviorist, it's one of my favorite things to talk about is just like nutrition absolutely has a direct benefit to behavior. And I
Hmm.
think people are like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, how do you feel when you're eating a bunch of junk? And how do you feel when you're eating really good food? Like think about how you think differently and feel differently. And like all that stuff makes a difference
We've
in so
had
many different ways.
customers come in and say I've seen a difference. My dog acts better. Like
Yeah.
since they changed her diet. Like what'd you put in that?
Yeah. I love it.
Well, even like phytoplankton, like phytosynergy from Adored Beast.
Yeah.
That
Oh God. Love them.
I do too. We have their full line, like such a great line, and I give that to these guys. And that phytoplankton has shown to reduce anxiety, and I think they have a few other products that do also.
Yeah, that's my favorite probiotic line because I
Hmm.
mean, even just the species that are in there itself in their base blend, four of them are clinically proven to help regulate mood and modulate stress. So it's just
Yeah,
yeah, I love Adored Beast.
I do
What's your,
I put their gut soothe, their healthy gut in my
yes?
smoothies. I
Oh,
I
in your
love
own
it. Oh
smoothies.
yeah, I do.
Okay, I
Uh-huh.
love
And I
that.
notice a difference too.
Okay. I've never thought to try it on my. There are a lot of pet things that I will take myself, but I hadn't thought about doing the probiotic, which I mean makes sense. Like there's nothing in there that's like animal specific,
No,
but
it's
they're just
human grade
probiotics. Yeah,
stuff too. Yeah.
cool. I
Yeah.
might, I might try that.
Try it. Yeah. Yeah.
What was something that surprised you when you got into the field and like you were maybe, you already have the concept of cap and loose in your brain and maybe you're doing the research to carry products. Like what was something that just kind of like surprised you and you just were like, I did not expect that.
Um, that surprised me. I kind of had an idea about veterinarians and what they said and stuff, but I was surprised at how many people they tried to scare away from even coming into my store. When
Yeah.
my the tagline for my store is a health food store for your pets. And they'd say, well, it's a boutique. None of their foods are tested. What are you talking about? Well, of course they're. Why are you saying this? Like, and they don't even come in. They don't come into my store. They're terrified of raw. They want to prescribe their prescription stuff. So
Yeah.
I was really dismayed. I don't know really how to combat that, and aside from showing what my products are and showing how well they work,
Yeah.
and then the whole thing with the DCM and the grain and grain free,
That was wild.
and it's still to this day I have people coming in, even though the FDA has denounced that. I still have people coming in, and my vet said not to do grain free.
Yeah.
So things like that. It's frustrating. because you don't want to put the vet down. I want to work with the vets, and they do an important function, but most
Yeah,
of them are not trained in nutrition, and that's too bad because there are really good foods that could alter a dog's life and make them better. We have, Bones and Co makes the 2-to-1 ratio for dogs with cancer and epilepsy.
hmm,
Like, I'd never heard of that before I got into the industry. Like, I would have had my dog on that.
yeah.
Um, so those are probably the big things. I have really good customers. We have a lot of locals that come in that are regulars, and we're out in town a lot doing different events. And Capone and Lulu are really well known around town. They're better known than I am around.
You're like,
It's
who's that guy with Pone and Lulu?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's hard to know what to bring in because there's so much out there.
Absolutely.
It can be really overwhelming. So I can imagine a person coming into the store for the first time, and I maybe have 5% of what's available out there, and trying to show them just that, it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've definitely taken a look at y'all stuff on Instagram because even though I own a boarding, training, and daycare in San Antonio, but I'm starting to open up my boutique a little bit more, and so I'm constantly looking at people's Instagrams, trying to get like some inspiration as to what the store looks like. And your store looks gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
It's very nice. I like the little grassy, like fake grassy looking
Yeah,
area that you guys
yeah,
have
love it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all use that area for?
Well, just if customers want to come in and let their dogs play in there for a little bit, there's a little pool with the balls in there. We do our Christmas photos in there, so we have pictures with Santa every year that,
Okay.
like, whoever wants to come in, it's free, and I love doing that every year. So we'll set that up in there. We'll have some sales and stuff in there sometimes too, but it's just set up for dogs to come in and play. I went into different stores before I opened, and I found some of them were so cramped. There's
Hmm.
just so much in there, and like hard to get through. I wanted something that was open, where you can have like a bunch of dogs in at once, and no one's getting in anyone's way, and everything's, kind of spread out. So
That's cool. I definitely think I've never been to the store. I have to put on my bucket list maybe next time I'm in Florida to stop by. But
yeah,
I feel like just based off of the pictures that I've seen that you have accomplished that.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's great. I love it, and I have a really good manager there, and really good people in town. It's a small town here, but yeah, if you go to Global Expo, it's 45 minutes away. So yeah, come
Okay.
over, and March is a fun time over here.
Good. What is one thing that you say would make you guys like, I know there's probably a lot, but one thing that makes you guys successful or stand out in your area?
Some of the things I mentioned, educating people, customer service. I went into stores before I opened, and I mentioned the one with that the lady just told me raw is expensive. So okay. And then another one, I went in and they said hi, and then continued to watch me walk around the store, never asked me any questions. So those are inspirations. Like, that's why I have the store like it is. I don't
Yeah.
want that. I want people to be welcome. I want people that we thank them for their business. We call them by their name. I
Mm,
offer free delivery on the island here, and it's
that's
usually
awesome.
within like 5 or 10 minutes. I'll take it down, and we have people that call us. On the weekends or Sundays we're closed, and so after hours the phone goes to my cell phone, and I pick up every time I see that. And all right, you need something? I'm right down the street. I'll meet you down there in 5 minutes, or I'll bring it out
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
So I think the customer service and well, the stuff we carry, but the customer service is what really keeps people coming back.
I love that. Very nice. Well, Michael, if anyone wanted to follow you guys, learn more about you, where can people check you guys out?
On Instagram, it's CAP_, N as in Nancy _LUS. So cap. We've got a website, cap. And then we're on Facebook also.
Very cool. Well, Michael, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and chatting about your store. It sounds like you've done a really amazing job, and I wish you the best of success moving forward.
Well, thank you so much, Steph. It was really great talking to you. Next time, hopefully the dogs are awake and you can come too.
That's all right.
Right.
They need their siesta throughout this
Yeah,
stressful
right.
moment of the storm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you, Steph. It's been fun.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.